I like to imagine reports like a burger. You start with your basic patty and buns, then you decide what ingredients you want to add to customize it to your liking. Custom reports work the same way in QuickBooks Online. In this video, I'll show you an overview of how to access reports in QuickBooks Online and customize them to your liking. Under Standard Reports, you can find all the templates that QuickBooks has created for you to use. This gives you a great head start to see how your business is performing because you don't need to create anything from scratch. The reports are grouped into different sections. You don't need to memorize where everything is. This is just to help you recognize what's available. Business Overview contains balance sheet and profit and loss statements, which are commonly used by business owners. Who Owes You is where you can find reports about customer invoices, payments, and unbilled charges and time. You'll also find sections for inventory, sales and customers, what you owe, expenses and vendors, employees, reports typically accessed by bookkeepers and accountants, and payroll. You can click on the star to favorite the reports that you use the most, so I'm going to favorite profit and loss. You can see the 3 reports that were favorited for easy access. You can also use the search bar to find a report. So if I start typing in profit, you can see all of the reports related to profit and loss appear. Then you can click on the report that you want to open. As you can see, this is a comprehensive starting point for your needs, so you can feel comfortable exploring the various sections, opening a report, and checking out the contents. Does it fit what you're looking for? Maybe it meets 75% of your needs, but you want to tweak it a bit more so you see all the important information in one place. This is usually the moment people stop and think, almost, but not quite. That's exactly where custom reports come in. This is where you're adding your lettuce, cheese, and sauce to your burger. I open the profit and loss statement so we can explore how you can customize a report to meet your business's needs. The report shows financials from last month. You can change the report period by clicking on the drop-down arrow and selecting a time period, or you can specify the report period by a specific start date and end date. The accounting method is showing accrual basis. You can flip back and forth between cash and accrual by clicking on the method you want to use. Display columns by presents data in different ways. By default, we're looking at the totals for January. By selecting weeks, we can now see how the business performed on a weekly basis. This can be helpful to see where there are spikes or drops in business. I'm going to set this back to totals. You can compare financials from different time periods. Let's say we want to compare December and January's performance. So I'll click on previous period and percentage change. Taking a look at the report, we can see under advertising and marketing, there was a 35% increase in spending in January compared to December. For this particular business, there was a hard push at the beginning of the year to attract clients. To reset the report, I'm going to deselect those 2 items, and now we can see the totals again. What's really nice about these reports is that you can explore how you want to present information. The key questions to ask yourself are, what is meaningful information for my business, and what supports my decision-making process? The Customize button is where you can unlock even more features. Think of customization in 3 layers: time and comparison, which we just reviewed, filtering for focus, and formatting for readability. Let's say we want to know how much we spent at Amazon in January. We can click on Customize and then filter by vendor name equals Amazon. The report is updated to show us that we spent $447.27 at Amazon last month. We can drill down even more to find out how much we spent at Amazon on office supplies. So I'm going to add another condition, and this will be a distribution account equals, let's search for office supplies. So of the $447.27 spent last month, $196.61 went to office supplies. This next part is less about accounting and more about presentation, especially helpful if you're sharing reports with others. So under number format, you could want to bring particular attention to negative numbers by clicking on Show in Red. If you want to see whole numbers only, you can round to the nearest whole number. You can also decide whether rows and columns that have no activity for that month are displayed. If we select all, Then every account in the chart of accounts appears. As you can imagine, that makes for a very long report. Under header, you decide if you want to display your company logo, name, and report period, and the header alignment. It's truly a matter of preference. You can also change the name of the report by clicking on the pencil icon and then enter the new text. Under footer, you can again decide what details you want on the report. The date and time prepared can be helpful, especially if there are revisions made to the report. You can easily determine which version you have in hand. You can rename report sections. Perhaps in your business, you refer to income as sales. Simply click in the text box and change the name. Now, visual is where the beautification occurs. To easily distinguish rows, you can select a color. And you can do the same thing for columns. If you want to remove a color, you can click on the white box with a slash through it. You can also add borders, much like you would use an Excel spreadsheet. The key here is to choose a layout that makes the information easiest to read and digest. Now, one thing I want to change is I'm going to clear all of the filters and I'm going to only show active rows. After making all of these customizations, be sure to save it. This will save you so much time because there's no need to create it from scratch every time you want to use it. So I'll click on Save As, and I'll call this Profit and Loss last month. So the name tells you exactly what it's showing. You can decide if you want to share the report with other people. Currently, it's only visible to you. You can also create a group so similar reports are easy to find. Let's add a new group and we'll call this Monthly Financials and then save. From here, we can print the report or export it in our preferred format. Now let's head over to where our report is saved. Click on Reports and then Custom Reports. We can now see the new group that we created called Monthly Financials and the first report that we created, Profit and Loss last month. If you have multiple reports under one group, you can export them as one PDF file, or you can export each report individually. Let's explore some additional report options. You can edit your custom reports, making any changes to it by clicking on Edit. Once you make those changes, you can save it, or you can use it as a template to create additional custom reports by using Save As. From the drop-down arrow, if you want to automatically send reports, click on Create a Schedule. From here, you can rename the workflow and select how often to send the report. Add the email addresses for the recipient, your email subject, the report format, Excel, PDF, or CSV, and your message to the recipient. Then you can save and turn on if you're ready to use it. If you're scheduling profit and loss statements and balance sheets, just make sure your accounts are reconciled first. Otherwise, you're automating confusion. A new feature is the ability to change the group that the report is in. You also have the option to delete the report or export it in your preferred format, PDF, Excel, or CSV. If you're already comfortable working with reports and want a more polished version, you would head over to Management Reports. Clicking on Create Report opens up financial templates for you to choose from, or you can create your own. I'm going to open Monthly Financial Summary. The outline displays all of the content contained in the report. It starts with a cover page, has a table of contents, and an AI-generated executive summary of significant changes that were identified during the month. If you don't want to include a particular page in your report, you can hide it by clicking on the eye, or you can click on the 3 dots and then select Delete. To arrange the pages, click on the 6 dots, and then you can drag the page to wherever you would like it to appear in the report. Content has 3 features. You can add a text block, which is useful if you want to add an explanation about figures on a page. You can also add a page break to force the separation of content. You can add any report that appears in QuickBooks Online, including the custom reports that you created. You can also add key performance indicators, better known as KPIs. Design is where you can change the overall look of the report, from styles to colors to the report title. You can also decide if you want to display the company name, logo, and who created the report. After making all of your customizations, you can save a draft so only you can see it, or publish the management report, which allows authorized users to view it. Remember, you can customize your reports just like a burger to your liking. You may add some details and decide that's too much. The great thing about reports, you can always undo or start over. Take the time to explore what QuickBooks Online reports have to offer. There is a wealth of information about your business that you can unlock, and oftentimes you'll discover that a report already exists. What reports do you frequently use in QuickBooks Online? Drop a comment below.